Hello, all, and welcome. I am so grateful that you are here. I am so honored to be here with you today. And so it's been a little while since I've done a video, and the title of this channel is going to be changing. And before I share that with you, though, I just want to introduce myself and just share a little bit about me. So, my name is Deb Acker. I'm an intuitive spiritual teacher, healer, and author. My second book is coming out soon. The title of that is called Profound Words to Waken Truth Within. It's actually a spiritual poetry book, and there's going to be more about that in a second. But the change in this channel, so the title and this new channel is going to be called the Channel for Wisdom. And at the heart of everything that I do, at the heart that everything that I will be bringing you, that I've brought you in the past, it's had still this common thread, is truth, right? I'm here to help you to learn, to grow, to heal, to know that you can have the life that you are meant to have without any settling in your life, but to do that from a really deep and grounded and loving and healing place, right? So much of the time, we're kind of in the higher worlds, or we're not really grounded into our being, or we're trying to do the things we think are going to help us, but they're not changing us. And through my own personal journey, I can say I know what it takes to really, like, the work that's really, really needed, that will change you. And I know the things that sort of scratch the surface that sort of appear to work or appear to work temporarily, but you find yourself back in the same place. And I will be sharing something about this later on. But what we are going to be doing on this channel moving forward is I'm going to be sharing with you the poems that I'm writing. Now, some of these poems you'll find in my book, a lot of them you won't, because I wrote some special ones just to be shared just here on this platform and on Insight Timer. So what I'm going to be doing is sharing the poem, and then I'm going to be walking you through and doing a little talk on the poem and helping you to identify maybe some subconscious energies and patterns that maybe you haven't been able to see in your life, to get you thinking, to get you inquiring. And I'm going to walk you through some ways to change those as well, to change them immediately. Because the shifts in our life, they don't have to take long, and we don't have to, you know, like, work so hard at it. It does take consistency. It does take staying with yourself over time, over and over and over. So I'm not here to tell you differently, but I am here to tell you that immediate shifts can happen, right? That shifts can happen immediately. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you this poem, and then I'm going to share you some subconscious patterns and energies and some ideas. I'll tell you how to shift those immediately, and then I'll share with you a little bit of a way that we can dive deeper. So today's poem is called Tell Me the Truth. Tell me the truth. Whether you're hurting or I've hurt you, tell me the truth. Whether you want to be here or you want to be there, tell me the truth. Whether you want me to know and I don't, or I want to know and you won't, tell me the truth. Whenever you want to lie, especially then, even if it's hard to say or hear, tell me the truth. Because no matter your truth, if it's so and you're willing to share it, I will know you've cared enough to tell me the truth. So that is our first poem. And if this spoke to you and you'd like to listen to it on repeat, or just want to be able to listen to the audio, on Insight Timer, I will have this poem as an audio only with no talk or anything after. It'll just be that you can play the poem. So I invite you to find me there, and you should be able to find me. It should be under Deb Acker, and you should be able to find me there. So that being said, let's talk a little bit about this poem and, like, some ideas, to give you some ideas. And this may resonate with you no matter what, but if you're an empath, you've likely found yourself in an environment where someone was lying or they weren't telling the truth, right? So just notice if that speaks to you, especially like if you're sensitive type, if you're an empath, like, that's highly likely. But so many of us, we grew up in traumatic environments where we deep down maybe felt even that somebody was lying to us. And it may not have been so overt. It might have just been the fact that we could feel that they didn't want to be there, or they felt like a fraud in some part of their life, or maybe a fraud as a parent, right? So it doesn't have to be, this massive lie that was being told. But, maybe there was something in your environment where you were just like you were craving the truth, right? You were craving people to be real, craving people to be honest. And, a lot of times people may have been putting on those fronts, right? Like they put on these fronts like everything was okay. You knew things weren't okay, but they put on these fronts that they were, right? So first of all, if anything that I've shared up until this point resonates with you, or it's something like maybe you haven't thought of or it hasn't been in your consciousness now, and it's something that's maybe blocking you from living a life full of truth, right in this moment, one of the ways that I will have you work with these energies, because we store them in our bodies, right? We store them in our cells. So one of the ways I'll have you work with these energies is just to exhale them out of your body. Now, whether you get that makes sense, you understand or not, know that it's working, right? Know that there's a shift occurring just by listening, right? Just by listening and hearing that poem, just by listening and hearing this talk, shifts are going to occur within you, right? You're going to start to shift and see things changing, or continue to see things changing, if you are a seeker like myself and so many of the people that are drawn to this work, right? And so, yeah, just noticing that space, like, did you feel people were lying to you? Did you feel people weren't telling you the truth? And were you wanting people to tell you the truth? So, anywhere where that's the case, just exhaling that out of your body. And, a lot of times when this energy or this feelings in our environment, we can often feel like they didn't love us or they don't love us, right? That they don't want to be there, which is one that I had mentioned earlier, right? That they don't care about us, right? That they don't really care about us or care about our experience. Or maybe again that they're not really wanting to be a parent or be our parent, right? And so anywhere where that's the case for you, right? Anywhere where that resonates and speaks to you and speaks to your heart, and maybe there's some pain around that. Right now, I just want you to exhale those out of your body. And one of the ways that we can work with this to shift the experience and to stop creating experiences where people all of a sudden in our life we feel like they don't care about us or they don't love us or they don't want to be there, right? Like our partners or friends or loved ones, right? One of the ways that we can honor that, in addition to just exhaling them out of our body, is to start to work with our inner child. And in my Painful Relationships Healing course, I dive really deep into how to work with our inner child. And if you have not done inner child work, or you have not dived into it as a consistent and regular tool to shift your life, it is a key to shifting our lives, right? And so I invite you to do that. I have, in my Painful Relationships Healing course, I dive into this, and all the different ways to work with our inner child. But right now, I want to walk you through just a couple of things that you could say that would make a shift in your life. So, right in this moment, I just want you to just close your eyes and just take a big, deep breath into your body. And then exhaling out. And just one more time, just taking a big, deep breath into your body. And just exhaling out. And there's an inner child that lives in each one of us, right? And that inner child had dreams and desires, and they also had fears and things that they were scared of, or they maybe didn't feel safe in their environment. And right now, I want you to tap into him or her. You can do this. You can even do this by placing your hand on your heart. And often when we're doing this, like we don't see them, or we have a hard time connecting with them. So know that this is completely normal. If you're not seeing them, you could even start right now by just saying out loud again with the idea of this leaving your body, not cementing it in, but you can start right now just saying like, I feel invisible, or I'm invisible, or I'm invisible to you. And you're saying this from the voice of your inner child. Again, it's not to blame yourself or take it on or make yourself wrong, but it is to honor their voice so that they start to feel safe enough to come forward. They start to feel safe enough to connect with you. So, sometimes too, you won't see them, or they won't say anything, or they'll feel like they're mad. So if you feel like they're mad at you, you can also just start before we even dive into any of the other pieces, just with like, I'm so angry. I'm so angry at you. I am so angry at you. I'm so mad at you, right? Or you might be mad at a parent. So I'm so mad at you. And that could be to a parent, right? And so, and you can say that until it really holds no charge for you, right? You can say that until it just it's like you don't want to say it again, right? And maybe it'll come up a day later, a week later, a month later, and if it does, then you say it again until one day you're going to find it's no longer really present for you. But that being said, why I invited you to connect with your inner child here is, there were some energies coming up about, people don't love us, right? Or they don't care, right? And again, so much of the time this roots in with our parents or our caretakers, whoever was taking care of you in your environments. But if that was an experience for you, what I invite you to say right now from the voice of your inner child is, you don't love me, right? And you're saying this from like to your parent, not to blame them, not to put it on them. This is the parent of your childhood. It's not necessarily the parent of your adulthood, right? But you're saying this to really start to honor that inner child within you and to honor their experience. So that would just look like literally saying, like, they don't love me, they don't love me, or you don't love me, you don't love me, right? And again, you can see that parent that you felt that about in front of you. You want to say this in real time, and just saying the idea of, you don't love me, you don't love me, and just starting to see that leaving you. Again, it's not to put it on them, it's not to blame them, but it is to honor your experience. And it's not about cementing it and trying to like stay in the circle, stay in the loop. It's about you giving voice to it so it can leave you. So you can take any one of those subconscious energies that I brought up, right? They don't love me, you don't love me, you don't care about me, you don't really want to be here. You could say any one of those. And again, if they have a lot of charge for you, just say that over and over, as well as anything that maybe comes to you. You want to keep it as simple as possible, but you want to just say it over and over until it holds no charge for you in this moment. So that's one way to work with it. Now, it's important to look at, like, if you feel like you're attracting people in your present day that aren't telling you the truth, one way we shift this is by shifting our relationship with the truth with our parents, and where they didn't tell us the truth, and again, all that hurt that we're holding inside. As we release that hurt, you're less likely to attract people who are lying. But the other way we shift this is by looking at the part within us where we might be lying to ourselves. So, it's important to look at, it's like, okay, are you lying to yourself about what is and isn't okay in your life? Maybe you're in a relationship with somebody that it's not okay, and you're telling yourself it's okay. Are you lying to yourself about something that you want in your life? Maybe you have a desire to be a writer, right? And you've stuffed that down or pushed that away, right? Important to start to notice that. Um, and it's important to notice, like, if you're saying, like, what they did, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad what they did, or it's not that bad what they're doing. There's a way that that breaks trust. And our journey back to self is about us building and rebuilding that relationship with ourselves, and that relationship of trust with ourselves, right? And so, first of all, anywhere where this is the case, any versions of where you might be lying to yourself, just starting to exhale that out. Notice this. I encourage you to sit with this. I encourage you to journal about this. Whatever your practices and your processes are, notice, it's like, if there's a place you're lying, it is important you start to tell yourself the truth if you want this to change, right? And it's okay if you don't, but I'm here for the people who really want to see a change in their life. Um, and then, again, going back to saying this, you can say this from the voice of your inner child, and you can also say this just from where you are right now. But, if there's a person in your past that you wanted them to tell you the truth, you could just see them in front of you. And I just invite you to say, tell me the truth. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth, God damn it. Tell me the truth. Right. And again, just to say that over and over until it holds no charge for you, until you have no desire to say it any longer. And if there's something else that comes up to say to them while you're saying that, please do. But I invite you to say it in real time and keep it as simple as possible. So that is today's talk. I invite you to comment below with questions, with clarification, with how the poem and or this talk impacted you, right? And also, I invite you, if this is speaking to you and you really want to do the work that will change your life, I put together a course called the Painful Relationships Healing Course. Well, this is about healing all of your relationships to create amazing relationships in your life. The first relationship you have to heal is the one with yourself. You want to change other relationships in your life, you have to heal the relationship with self. And so this course dives into the hardcore things that need to be shifted, that need to be healed, that need to be changed to really see a long-term shift in your life. So much of the time we get into meditation practices, we get into yoga practices. I mean, we do all these practices that are really wonderful and they help us to feel better, but they often help us to feel better only temporarily. And then we keep seeing the same patterns over and over. Now, that could take 6 months, it could take a year, but if you're finding yourself sort of kind of falling into a loop and you feel like you're doing work on yourself, but you're falling into this loop over and over and over again, where you keep having pain, more pain showing up, it's likely because there's an opportunity for you to go deeper. This course is what is needed to go deeper to really see a long term and permanent shift. And as part of this course, and you can find more information about that on the link below, but just as part of this course, some of the things that are covered are really identifying and healing your patterns, um, working with the inner child, forgiveness work, feeling your feelings, really, and how to speak and really share your truth in a way that someone else can receive that. So, again, you can find more information about that below, but just want to really, really thank you again for being here. I'm so grateful. I'm so excited to be sharing these poems with you and just to be sharing, this new journey and adventure with you. And until next time, just wishing you well and just wishing you everything you desire in this life. Thank you.
This poem was written by Deb Acker and is copyrighted.